Faithful. It is your boys, Juju and Jose, and we are here for our NFC Championship breakdown. And that feels so good to say, Jose. Feels so good to say. Not as good as it would be to say Super Bowl preview, but for now, it will suffice. Yes, we are in the NFC Championship game this weekend against the Los Angeles Rams. Obviously, the third time around against a division rival, never an easy game, but there is some cause for optimism. As a stat I was just seeing on Twitter, a team that has swept another team in the regular season is 14-8 the third time around in the postseason. So winning record for the team that has the total win advantage. Is that going to be the same story for the San Francisco 49ers, Jose?
Well, I sure hope so, but I think we're going to have to find a stat that says, what about when you beat that same team 6 times before? Because that's really been the case. The Rams, if they have, no other motivation for them to go out and win this game other than the fact that there's a Super Bowl trip on the line and the fact that they've gotten beat up by the Niners for 6 straight games, I don't know what's going to motivate them. And just a disclaimer, I know I'm wearing blue. I know it's the wrong color. I'm sorry, Niner faithful, but it's not a Rams anything, okay?
Reverse jinx.
I do apologize. It's a reverse jinx. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to put so much money on Rams -3.5 as well, right? but no, I mean, you mentioned it. That has to be the biggest storyline going into the game. It's just the complete dominance that the Niners have had over the Los Angeles Rams. And to be honest, that kind of scares me. I know you'd mentioned the 14-8 stat, but just last year we saw New Orleans dominate Tampa Bay in the regular season, and then Tampa Bay went into New Orleans and took care of them pretty easily in the playoffs. So I by no means at all am guaranteeing a win here just because we've beaten them not only twice this season, but 6 times in a row. There's just no way I'm just going to go ahead and be that confident and say, oh, it's a guaranteed win that we'll beat them 7 times in a row, just because that offense is just so dynamic. We saw what they were able to do against that Tampa Bay defense. Even in the last, minute of the game, whenever it seemed like they were choking the game away, they found a way to make the big enough plays to put themselves in positions to win. And that's always a dangerous team, a team that could bounce back, rallying back after the, almost choke that they had there against Tampa Bay. The fact that they were even able to go on the road and beat Tom Brady, that just tells you how good this Rams team really is. But I'm still faithful in my Niners. Don't get me wrong. And I know that there's been a lot of talk about the ticket situation as how many Niners fans are really going to show up. I honestly think it's going to be even more than what it was in week 18. We saw what a difference Niner faithful made in week 18 in the regular season finale. I think Niner faithful again is going to make an absolute difference in this NFC Championship game.
If you had to say one thing that's important for the Niners to do to get this victory, what would it be?
Same thing that we've been saying the past few weeks. The success of this Niners team relies on how much pressure they could get on the opposing quarterback. We made Dak Prescott uncomfortable. We even made Aaron Rodgers uncomfortable. Week 18, we were all over Matt Stafford's face. We're going to have to do it again. I know it's a difficult task because the Rams are going to go into that game thinking the same exact thing. They got to protect Matthew Stafford at all times, because if you give Matthew Stafford enough time, he has Cooper Kupp, he has Van Jefferson, Tyler Higbee, and Odell Beckham Jr. at his disposal. So if we give him a lot of time, he's just going to continue to pick apart that Niners secondary. So I still think you put pressure on Matthew Stafford and you have a good chance of winning the game.
In week 18, obviously they did a good job game pressure on the interior offensive line, in particular Austin Corbett, David Edwards. Those guys both gave up 15 combined pressures against the San Francisco 49ers in that game, and they struggled against the Buccaneers. Vita Vea, Ndamukong Suh, they put some pressure on them in that matchup. So obviously that is a big time advantage for the 49ers, but the Niners also have to deal with their questions on the offensive line themselves, because big Trent Williams, he did not practice again today. This is the 3rd straight practice that Trent has missed. And at this point, it's fair to mark him as a game time decision. Putting that pressure on Colton McKivitz in the NFC Championship game is not something that I am exactly signing up for. Yes, he did a great job in week 18, but to expect that same type of performance is not fair to the kid. And I think even as well as he played, the slow start for the offense, I do think, was part of Trent Williams not being out there, as it was kind of a surprise to everyone that he wasn't playing in that game. Another big key, our secondary has to stop the Rams passing attack. We can't allow Cooper Kupp. We can't allow Odell Beckham, who's been ascending, to burn us. And Ambry Thomas going to the bone bruise. Deontay Johnson kind of just is what he is. Josh Norman, best case, I guess he could get in front of a ball, as we saw in that one-on-one matchup against Devontae Adams. That is another matchup that obviously concerns me. I think K'Wan Williams also missed week 18. Correct me if I'm wrong. Thing to throw in here about the Niners that we kind of underrate their secondary. They have held opposing passers under their season passing average 15 of 18 games, I'm not mistaken, or I guess technically 16 of 19 games now. The only exceptions being Joe Burrow, Jared Goff, and Colt McCoy. Some oddballs in there, certainly, but the fact is they've done some great jobs on quarterbacks, the likes of Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, and obviously Matthew Stafford, who we play this Sunday. My last big one here, Jimmy has to have a game. Yeah. And I will say this, Jimmy is due for a game. I just feel it. There's something in the air that just tells me Jimmy is due. He's like that slumping hitter that you just know eventually he's going to hit a home run. And I think he's going to hit multiple home runs in this game. I think we're going to see the first multi-score game of Jimmy Garoppolo's postseason career this Sunday. Too bold?
No, not bold at all. I think you could definitely see it. The conditions are going to be there. Last week, he had plenty of opportunities to do so. His receivers did let him down last week in Green Bay, but I mean, you kind of have to blame the conditions for that one. Jimmy Garoppolo, for all the, kind of hate or criticism that he's gotten, well, guess what? Yeah, he's thrown the 2 interceptions and no touchdowns, but we've still won the games. That's the craziest thing about it, right? We're still in a position to go into the Super Bowl.
Don't tell me the times.
Oh, no. Everybody's correct. Let's just continue that narrative that Jimmy Garoppolo is no good for this team and that he's completely useless. I'm okay with that. If that means we're going to win more games, hell, I'll even jump in on the Jimmy Garoppolo is useless for this team. I can't wait for Trey Lance era. But I mean,
get him out of here. Get him out of here. What a
Think
bum.
about it, Niners. Think about it, Niners faithful. Yeah, he hasn't been great, but we've still won football games. He's 4-1 in the playoffs. That is something good, because that basically tells you if he shows up on Sunday, like, what answer are the Rams going to have for him? Because he's played great against the Rams before. We look at week 19, the last game he had against the Rams, he absolutely torched them for 2 huge 3rd and 16 plays. He could do that again this game. And I would even say Matthew Stafford was probably worse in that game, in that first game, than Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo didn't throw 2 interceptions in that first game. Matthew Stafford, the 2 games that he's had against the Niners, 4 interceptions. To me, Jimmy Garoppolo having these struggles is actually a good thing for the Niners, because your starting quarterback is struggling, but you're still going into Jerry World and winning games. You're still going into Lambeau in the middle of a fucking blizzard, and you're still winning football games, even when your quarterback is throwing 2 interceptions and no touchdowns. So I think that's actually a positive. If Jimmy Garoppolo gives us a good game, like I know he can, I say we win this game.
I need a couple more things to happen. I need Matthew Stafford to throw interceptions. You mentioned the turnovers. I need Matthew Stafford to turn over the ball, because I fear if the Rams don't have any turnovers in this game, that makes their offense almost unstoppable. We need to force turnovers. And also, I need Daniel Brunskill to continue to have whatever all-star level success that he seems to have every time he lines up against Aaron Donald. I need that to continue being a favorable matchup, because over the last 4 games against the Rams, Aaron Donald has how many sacks do you think, Jose?
I honestly can't remember a single one.
Well, you did say the right answer. 1.
Wow.
Just 1 over a 4-game stretch. And we're talking about an obvious Hall of Famer, a guy who wins Defensive Player of the Year in, year out. Aaron Donald. I need the interior line to hold up against him once more. Big task, especially if Trent Williams isn't out there. But we need to get it done. We need to keep Jimmy Garoppolo comfortable, and we need to keep Matthew Stafford uncomfortable to win this game. Obviously, like last week, we're both picking the Niners. No use betting against them now. Score prediction?
Well, I do expect a little bit of a dogfight. Usually when you see these scenarios where in the playoffs it's 2 divisional opponents, the 3rd game usually ends up being a little bit more low scoring. And I kind of expect the same thing. I think both of these defenses kind of know what to expect from each offense. And I think they're going to do a good job of stopping what each offense brings to the table. So I'm going to go 24-20 Niners.
24-20. Give me 35-32. I think that this is going to be a little bit more high scoring. I don't know. Something is telling me this is going to be a little bit of a toss-up, high-scoring game. And I'm also hoping that we also get maybe a walk-off heroics at the end.
I was just about to ask
something about that,
expecting...
just kind of lingering in my mind. Actually, why am I hoping for that? Why do I want that torture? I just want everything to be nice and comfortable. Screw it. Disregard what I just said. Give me a 45-0 blowout. That way I could just relax on Sunday. That way I could just be calm, cool, collective, and get ready for a game in 2 weeks. All right, 49ers faithful, drop below your score predictions. Leave a like on this video. Obviously, Niners channel, rapidly growing Niners channel. And we want more of you for future episodes, future game previews, future game reactions, more breaking news, more Niners content from Juju Thai Sports and Jose Corral. There's 49 reasons to listen, 2 right here, 2 reasons to subscribe. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, folks. We will see you next time.